Hello friends, this is Anand Pai, founder of Academy in Pursuit of Engineering Excellence. I am back after a long time. Today we will continue with fluid mechanics. In that we will start today chapter 3, fluid kinematics. We will discuss today Eulerian and Lagrangian approach. First, we will see what is fluid kinematics. Fluid kinematics is study of fluid motion without considering the forces causing or forces impeding the motion. Now when you say fluid motion, what does that involve? It involves velocity or acceleration. Now when we say velocity, it is position with respect to time, okay, and acceleration is how velocity changes with the time, correct? So both of these things, if we consider, we have the motion being described, correct? Now the forces which causes the fluid motion may be pressure gradient, gravity, inertial force, even electrical and magnetic reasons also may be there, but these are major causes. And forces impeding may be form drag or viscous drag, okay. So now once we understand velocity and acceleration, we can always find out the forces, correct? So we know the Newton's second law. From Newton's second law we can write F is equal to mass into acceleration. So if we understand the forces, if you understand the acceleration, if you understand the motion, finding the forces causing that is easy, okay. So next we will see what is scalar and vector fields, okay. A scalar field is the one where you specify a scalar quantity in geometrical or temporal space. For example, one of the scalar quantity might be temperature, and the temperature variation in a space can be specified. For example, this is a global warming prediction from 1960 to between 2070 to 2010 to 1960 to 1990. This is a variation which is giving, which is show that at some places it is 8 degree more than the average temperature here, and some places it is almost the same, okay. So this is what, this is a map of scalar variation, scalar quantity variation. Scalar quantity here is temperature, and how does it vary with space x, y, z and t, okay. Similar way I may have pressure distribution also. For example, in a cyclone, how the pressure varies at various locations, at the radial location of the cyclones can be seen, and that becomes a scalar field, okay. Next, similarly we can have vector field. What is a vector field? Vector field is a distribution of a vector quantity in a geometrical and temporal space. Temporal space means it changes with the time. Temporal means time, okay. And here one of the main thing what is there here, see, observe, in this case for example we are seeing the vectors. This is a velocity vector, you can see. At every point there is a vector. The size of this arrow shows the magnitude of the vector, and the direction of this arrow shows the direction of the vector. For example, simple ways of vector is velocity vectors, or vector field is velocity vector specified at every point in a space. Similar way we can have a force field. These are examples of a vector fields. Now to understand the velocity variation, okay, or how do you specify the velocity, there are two ways in which we specify the velocity in a flow field. Flow field means a space where flow happens, okay. It is flow. How do you define the flow? That is done in two ways. One is called Lagrangian approach, the other one is called Eulerian approach. Now let us see what is Lagrangian approach. Now Lagrangian approach is like this. For example, if we have say a nozzle, okay, let us define a nozzle like this, okay, and there is fluid which is entering here, okay, there is fluid which is entering here like this, okay. Now the fluid which is entering here, a particle might be there at this location, will follow this path, okay. So the particle will follow this path. Now how do you identify the particle? We can identify particle by its initial location, okay. So this initial location I will specify as S0,
with respect to some coordinates, say x, y, z coordinates. This is 0, origin O. Okay. So at one point S0 at time t0. So I can say x0, y0, z0 at time t0. This would specify the particle. Okay. Now this particle, how it moves with the time. Okay. When it reaches here, what would be its location and what would be its what would be its velocity, what would be its acceleration. All these things comes with the Lagrangian approach. So fluid particle is identified by the initial position and tracked with the time. So what is important here is path is important, how it goes. Okay. Now that means S initial or any position S is specified in terms of S0 and T. S0 is about x0, y0, z0 at time t0. Okay. It is tracked with respect to time. And what is x? X is x of x0, y0, z0, t. That means any next position, any this position is dependent. This is what S, x, y, z, t. Okay. Any other specification, this x is a function of initial positions. This y is also a function of initial position. That z is also a function of initial positions. Okay. This is how we specify the Lagrangian approach. How do you find out the velocity? We just integrate, we just differentiate this and we get the velocity. That means here, if you consider this velocity, it can be scalar u into I, scalar v into j, scalar w into k, where I, j, k are unit vectors in the x, y and z direction. What is u here? U can be written as dx by dy. What is v? V is d, I am very sorry here, it is dx by dt. U is dx by dt, v is dy by dt, and w is dz by dt. Okay, that's how we specify. And x is only a function of t because x0, y0, z0 is specified. Okay, if you say x, x0, y0, z0 is specified. So it refers to only the location. So we are not worried about it. It's only a function of time. Correct? For a particular particle where x0, y0, z0 is fixed. Okay. So you can write it directly here. Okay. Acceleration is a into dx, d square x, d square ds, d square s by dt into dt square. Okay. So now this particular thing, if you see, we can write acceleration as axi plus ayj plus azk. Okay. Now what is ax, ay, az? Simple. Ax would be d square x by dt square. Ay would be d square y by dt square, and az would be d square z by dt square. That's how we specify all these things. Okay. Next we will go with Eulerian approach. In the Eulerian approach, what happens is velocity is identified by every spatial location. How does it imply? See, if I have a particular nozzle, another nozzle we will say, here we know velocity, a particle may go like this. Okay, a particle may go in this fashion. Okay, so now here we are not worried about the individual particle. We measure velocity at a particular point. So here observe, velocity is specified. There it is. In Lagrangian approach, it is the position which is specified initially. Here velocity is specified. How do we measure the velocity? We measure the velocity by some probe. We put some velocity probe at every location and we find out the velocity. So velocity is specified at every location. So at every s, this velocity is specified. So if I have x, y, z, okay, if I have x, y, z, at every x, y, z, the velocity will be specified. Okay, so here s is u is ui plus vj plus wk, and what is u? U is a function of x, y, z and t. Okay, similar way these things will be there. Now here we are not worried about the position here. We are directly worried about the velocity. We are measuring the first primary quantity which we measure is velocity itself. Okay, that is what is in case of Eulerian approach. How do you find out the acceleration? Acceleration is found out by differentiating velocity with respect to time. Now, differentiating velocity with respect to time is not that easy here. Okay, why it is not that easy? Because if you say ax is du by dt, but u is a function of x, y, z and t. Okay, it is not just a function of time. Okay, it's a function of x, y, z and time. So we have to go with some complex ways which we will discuss in the next class. Next class I am going to or the next video I am going to tell you about acceleration in Eulerian approach. But now, since velocity is the initial coordinates, okay, what we might have to find out is position. The velocity here is specified. So a particle in the flow field here goes from this point to this point. Okay, how do you find out the position? Okay, say this x0, x1. For example, initially here it is given as s0 is there. At s0 we have velocity v0. At s1 we have velocity v1, like that we have. Now how do we find out the position of these particles? What we can do is we should integrate this velocity. U, v, w, you have to integrate. So when you integrate v with respect to dt, we get position. But there is a trouble. The trouble is at every small location we have to integrate. We have to take a very small dt because it varies with the velocity also varies with position. So this is integration of v of x, y, z, t into dt. And since v varies, the integration becomes difficult, and generally we go with a numerical approach. And then that's how we get from the Eulerian approach, we get the Lagrangian path line. Okay. So from this, by integrating the Eulerian field, we can get Lagrangian path line. Okay. This is how it is important. Okay. Now, this Eulerian and Lagrangian approach, in this Eulerian approach is more used in engineering field, but there are applications of Lagrangian approach also. Okay, we will see that in the summary. Okay, so we will see the summary. Summary is like this: Lagrangian approach specifies the position of a particle as a function of time and space. Okay, and in Eulerian approach, velocity is specified when it crosses a particular space coordinate. So velocity is the primary thing. Okay. Now particle is identified by its initial position in case of Lagrangian approach. In case of Eulerian approach, there is no identification of individual particles. Okay, rather than spatial position is important. Okay, example is a neutrally buoyant air balloon measuring temperature, pressure and humidity variation in the wind direction. Okay, so the neutrally buoyant air balloon moves with the wind. So you measure the temperature, pressure, humidity, maybe for weather prediction. Okay, similar way, a weather station measuring temperature, pressure and humidity at a particular place. That is an example of a Eulerian approach. Okay, we know these both things are relatable. From Eulerian you get Lagrangian, you can get Lagrangian also. Okay, so this is the difference between Eulerian and Lagrangian. Now this forms the basis of whole fluid mechanics understanding or study. Okay, so this is very important. Any doubts you have further, you can put it on the comment box, and kindly subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you could get further notifications. Thank you very much, students.